flip-flop time! There are so many cool patterns that you find on flip-flops. I wonder what yours will look like. If we had large paper like at school, we could have done something like this. Go collect your art supplies, some paper, don't forget your sand, and flip-flops to trace. Make sure you hold your pen or your pencil straight up and down when you're tracing. So once you've traced both feet, both flip-flops, whether it's a flip-flop or a shoe, if you're not flip-flops yet, that's fine. Just trace the sole of your shoe, but you need each foot, each shoe. All right, and you'll notice on a flip-flop, you need space for your toes. So think about where this little thing's gonna go. So if your big toe is here, this is going to be next to where your flip-flop sling, or well, I forget what this is called, is going to be added. So just put a dot there. And then on the other one, think about where your big toe is. We'll go in between your big toe and your middle, just put a dot. And look at the flip-flop and see where the strap connects to where your heel is. So just put a little mark on each side where you think it would go. You could use your shoe as a guide. Do that on both sides, both shoes. Okay, 1 and 2. Okay, so now I know where they're going to connect. So I'm going to draw this first before I add my patterns. That way I know where everything is going to be placed. So if I start here, I want to connect a little bit of a line on both, and it's going to connect there. So you'll see that it starts wide and then it does a little twist. So check this out. So you do one, and go out and back. Then give a little space, or I'll just do this side. Connect to that one. And this is how wide I want mine to be. It started wide, back, like that. That works. Okay, not exactly like this, but you get the point. So I'm going to do on this shoe as well. So again, start with my little tiny V. I'm going to connect to that dot. Do that on both sides. Okay. Make about the same width. One. And on the other side. Okay, now I can start designing my patterns. Find a pattern for inspiration, or maybe your favorite superhero. It's always good to start simple, basic shapes, and then you can build on it. I'm going to start with circles, and then I can build on the circles. I'll just put this over here. It's kind of a guide. But I can use crayons, I can use markers, I can use colored pencils, you can use oil pastels, you can do watercolor. Whatever you have in your house that's bright and colorful, I would use those. So I think I'm going to use markers. So let's see. I want to use a nice deep color. How about blue to start? And I'm going to make circles, and I'm going to build on them. And let the circles go off the edge of your flip-flop, but they have to match. The pattern has to match. Doesn't have to be exact, but as long as the pattern is the same pattern, but organized in a little bit different way is fine. So imagine this goes all the way around underneath the strap. Now that your flip-flops are done, we can cut them out and we can use them on a separate piece of paper where we'll make the water and the sand as if we were on the beach. Now we live on an island, so we have beaches all around us. So what I suggest you do is go on a little trip like I did this morning, and I collected some sand with my son that I'm going to use on this project today. We live on an island. Please take advantage of it. So if you don't have a second piece of paper, I'll show you how we can do this with the one piece, but I'm actually going to cut it out anyway so that I can glue it on my second one. All right, so the first thing I want to do is make a little bit of a ripple as if the water is just at the edge. And I'll just kind of go in and out as if this was like foamy edge of the water where the bubbles come up. Okay, maybe a little bit more. So that's going to be the water. Down here is going to be the sand, where I'll color it. You can use markers, you can use oil pastels, you can use whatever you like. I'm actually just going to use marker for now because I am going to be cutting it out. I'm not keeping this one. So this isn't going to be my work of art. It's just going to be for practice. So if I go around the edge, make sure I don't get it on the flip-flop. So I'm just using a peach marker. You can use any yellow or light color. If you have tan, that's fine. Peach works as well. And I put something underneath so that I don't color my table. That actually didn't come out so bad. I could use this, but I do want to show the other step. For the water, I know our water isn't really blue here on the bay. It's kind of a green-gray, but let's pretend it's tropical. Let's use bright blues or even teal colors. You can blend your colors if you like. Starting with marker, and then I'm going to use a little bit of crayon or oil pastel. I'm leaving the white bubbles. Let's switch to oil pastel. Let's see what happens. So I used the oil pastels and I blended the blue with white, and it makes it look kind of creamy and shiny. So after I had done that, I used a brown to make the edge of the water look like it's creating a little bit of a shadow. And then the flip-flops make a little shadow on the sand. The next step is going to be adding the sand. But I actually wanted to cut them out and do them on another one so that you can try both or pick your favorite, whichever you think would work best for you. This will be your finished one. Take some Elmer's glue, put glue right on the sand, and then just sprinkle the sand right on top of the glue. And then go outside and just shake this into your grass. Because it is part of Earth, return it back to the Earth. Okay, now that I've cut them out, I have this paper to recreate what I did on my one sheet. I'm actually going to just put it over here as reference for me. You can print out a picture of water rippling on the edge, or you can just come up with your own. So I'm gonna just have a little fun, drawing a little bit of a wave going in and out, and make that little ripple like that. And make another line because the water does ripple. All right, now I'm gonna use oil pastels, kind of like what I did, but don't forget to cover your paper. You can use markers, crayons. If you use colors that blend, it always comes out nicer. So I recommend maybe using colored pencil if you have it. If you have watercolor, because you can blend. I love using oil pastels, so these are a great choice for this type of project because you can have some fun with blending. The water is shiny, it's reflecting light, and that's how you create that effect, by adding white to your colors. So check this out. If I blend it, look at what happens. Now, if you don't have oil pastels, it's fine. Try it with crayon. Works just like that. Not as smooth, but you do get a little bit of that effect. If you pull the color, you get a nicer blend. If your flip-flops didn't fit, you can cut it out and glue it on another sandy beach going off the edge of the paper. Notice how I use the marker and I hold it on its side. That way I can make nice thick lines with one single stroke, so I'm not wasting the ink. Now for the real fun part. I get to put the sand. So I put the glue right on the paper. Now, you really don't have to cut them out. I should have changed my composition, but that's all right. If I would have had part of the shoe, if your shoes don't fit, then it would make sense to cut it out and crop them so they go off the edge of your paper. I made it exactly the same as the first one, which was kind of silly. I should have just left it. But I'm putting glue right on the paper. I have to fix this right here. My shadow for the flip-flop. That looks silly. That's better. Okay, now I continue with the glue. I would definitely put something underneath. Find a kitchen towel or something. I have this fabric. Put this right on top so that the excess can go right into my yard or into my garden. Okay, so here I go. And then I take the sand and I go right onto the glue. I haven't done this kind of thing in years. This is so fun. If you have liquid paint and you want to make it look like the edge is all bubbly and foamy, you could use the paint with a sponge, a regular kitchen sponge, like that. Or you can use something like this. I got this from the beach in Fort Lauderdale. It's a sea sponge. It's natural. It still has some stuff in there. But when you wet it, it becomes soft, and then you can make the texture of the bubbles. So this is a painting I had done with that technique. Well, I can't wait to see how you create your water, and I can't wait to see your flip-flop patterns. Happy summer and have fun!